My name's Jake Billingsley. I'm an enterprise architect with People-Driven Technology. I've been using Cisco firewalls and Cisco firepower for at least 10 years. We're a partner, so we work with all sorts of different end users to deploy them for their use cases. So a lot of internet edge, some data center segmentation, east-west firewalls, and not so much in the cloud, but mostly on-prem today. Yeah. Securing the internet perimeter and preventing malware from coming into the environment. Also providing content filtering for SIPA compliance or other sorts of compliance out there is a big use case with our customers. The integration to the other Cisco products is something that a lot of our customers are looking forward to. So with SecureX and ICE and Secure Endpoint and things like that are a lot of use cases that customers bring to us and help them solve. It integrates really well. I mean, I'm a big fan of SecureX. Cisco's platform for tying together all the different security tools, and it's got a lot of flexibility and even a lot of third-party or non-Cisco integration. So I feel like that's a really valuable tool. From the firepower solution, I mean, all the features that you would think of, when you're thinking about a firewall, some that I already stated, content filtering, the IPS, IDS, and malware prevention. I mean, all of those are big use cases and great features that work well. It's allowed them to, feel or know that their network is secure, right? And to put those guidelines in place or those controls in place to prevent their users from going out and unintentionally doing something dumb, clicking on the wrong link or whatever. So being able to prevent malware, and then with the umbrella integration to prevent them from getting to those websites if they do happen to be too busy and click on a phishing link or something like that. As far as metrics or examples that I have, I don't have any that I can, specifically state off the top of my head. I will say, definitely have lots of happy customers that are running it, and they feel it's a stable solution and one that they can rely on. In terms of improving it, I would say just, I think they're doing a really good job in a competitive landscape against some of the other vendors out there. The new Firepower 3000 series, I think, was a great addition to the portfolio, and then really stacks up price-wise well against some of the other vendors out there. So I would say that's a year ago, that was one thing that I would have commented on, but they've done a pretty good job of filling that niche. There's some other good solutions out there. There's a lot of other successful firewall vendors, but I think when I compare, a Palo Alto or a Fortinet or SonicWall or something like that against Cisco, it's a tough comparison because Cisco has all the ecosystem of security products that all tie in together, integrate really well together. Lots of good dashboards and observability built into the product. So. I would say that's where they've got a leg up on their competition. We have engineers that do the deployments. They're very skilled and have done many firepower deployments. So I would say the methodology that Cisco has, the documentation they have out there on how to install it, how to configure it is top notch. So I think that really helps us install it for customer and help get the customer up to speed on how well it works. Firewall is never a super simple thing to install and configure, but I think Cisco does a really good job with some of their automation tools and the documentation. Usually we have assign a single engineer to a firewall deployment project, and yeah, he's able to complete that. I mean, it'll vary. A small branch, maybe that's several hours worth of work to deploy a firewall. Large corporate site, obviously that's going to be much more time consuming, lots of policies to configure and talk through with the customers and things like that. So, it varies depending on the size and application. I think Cisco's known as a premier product, and it comes with a premier price point sometimes. So I would say, sometimes that makes it challenging for some customers to bite off on. They see the value, when we get into a proof of value sort of scenario, they see the value there. Price points can, tend to be high, but I mentioned earlier the new line of the 3000 series Firepowers definitely solves that issue and is very attractive. So. In terms of return on investment, I have multiple clients that have been through multiple generations of ASA to Firepower to the next generation of Firepower. So they definitely find the return on investment there. They find it's a valuable product to have in their network. So yeah, it definitely checks that ROI box for them. Yeah, Cisco has a huge TAC organization. I would say experiences can differ sometimes. Sometimes it's really good. Sometimes you get a newer TAC engineer who needs to kind of start at step one to investigate the issue. So I would say one thing is they're always there. They always pick up the phone, and there's always a person, a TAC engineer to escalate to that can provide really good support. So that they've got someone in there. It's just in terms of getting to the right individual. I would say, just having more skilled, high-level engineers that are available around the clock. So I know that's an easy thing to say and hard thing to do. Like I mentioned before, they have really good engineers in there. Sometimes it's just a matter of getting access to that particular individual that's going to be able to help solve your issue. Yeah, it's stable. Like I mentioned, I have multiple clients that run it. There's always going to be some bugs and issues that we run into, but I would say that's where their TAC definitely jumps in and helps and recommends code versions and things like that. So overall stability is pretty good. In terms of scalability, they've got all different sizes of firewalls for different scales and things like that. So being able to understand how to size the firewalls appropriately is definitely key in that, and that's where a partner can help, or even the customer Cisco account team can help with the scalability. But they have the big multi-instance 9300 chassis down to the small 1000 series. So there's a lot of scalability within the portfolio. Advice that I would have for others looking to use the solution is get with a good partner, someone who's got engineers and architects that know the product well, and get their thoughts on it. We can always help compare and contrast against other options out there in the market. That's what my job is kind of knowing the market landscape and being able to help differentiate, and then always take advantage of a proof of value. It's always best to get that box into your network, see how it works with your particular traffic mix, your set of policies, and things like that. So I would always put a POC, POV as a checkbox in a buying decision. I would rate it somewhere in between 7 or 8. So, I think sometimes stability issues like I referenced before, or just the general TAC support, while good, it could be better. So there's always room for improvement there. But I feel like it's a really good product that is. Definitely Cisco's improved it as time's gone on. So.